What would it take to bring back Bionicle in 2020 or beyond 2020? In this video, I'm going to present some points that I think are very important to consider for a company to bring back Bionicle. And I think the points I will be presenting, I think the way I'm doing it is pretty objective. My solutions will reflect my bias, and if you recognize the year of these sets, you can guess. So I'll admit there is some bias in what I'm going to be proposing at the end, but I think the points that I bring up, the hurdles, are pretty objective and important for anyone to consider. And really what I want this video to be is just to provoke a discussion, to start a discussion point about what we consumers would want to bring back Bionicle. And honestly, my big hope is that Christian Faber will see this. And this isn't like a list of demands that I want for like a potential Bionicle G3 or whatever it is you want to make. But I just want to voice my opinion as a consumer about what I would like to spend my money on. So that's the entire point of this video. All right, so with that out of the way, the first point, there are three points I think are important to consider for at any point for Bionicle to return. And the first one I want to talk about is the audience. So I think the Bionicle audience as a whole, I think there's a whole out there, meaning tons of people, especially my age group, millennials, especially like from these 01 years. Many people I talk to around my age, many people recognize Bionicle, and they still especially love the Flash games and the Flash animations. I think there's a lot of recognizability to Bionicle, but obviously I think it's a much smaller group of people who are active in the Bionicle community. I think there are millions of people who have owned Bionicles, and I think for the most part had a positive play experience and would be intrigued by a future Bionicle line. But if we're talking hardcore fan base, we are talking only thousands of people. If I'm to be completely honest, and I guess for a good baseline for that, you can look at TTV. I think they're perhaps the most active Bionicle channel that I know of these days, and they have tens of thousands of subscribers, and some of their videos have millions of views, but their hardcore active base is maybe in the thousands. So, and I don't think that means Bionicle can't return because there's only thousands of active fans. I think that means with currently no Bionicle product, there are only thousands of fans still interested in Bionicle. I think you could, if there were a Bionicle G3, depending on the product, which I'm going to talk about next, you can get hundreds of thousands of the millions who recognize Bionicle and have memories about it and had a positive play experience. I think, so in that respect, I think your potential audience is huge. The trick is making a product that resonates with them and re-triggers their memory and really catering it towards those people. I think, so honestly, me even making this video, I shouldn't be the primary audience that a business is trying to address when in terms of, okay, what does Bionicle mean? What product should it be? Because really all companies are about making money, about getting money back from their investment. So I think that's really important lens to how we answer the question, what form does Bionicle come back and can it come back? It is a matter of profitability for a business. And I think it's important to know and acknowledge that audience that the business wants to address honestly, they're probably not watching this video. All those previous Bionicle fans, I guess if I were in business terms objectively, I would call it previous Bionicle consumers. That is the audience they're going for. They want to rekindle those memories of Bionicle in their minds, and that resonates with them and would make them purchase. Because obviously, I think you and I, watching this video, Like we would be totally interested in Bionicle no matter what it is. We will know about it. We will hear about it, and we would easily, quickly evaluate if we would want to purchase it or not. So now that I've talked about audience, I want to talk about the second point, which is the product itself. So the product itself, I think for a future line, it needs to be something for a business that makes sense that they can get a return on their investment for. And I think sets aren't the way to do that. So if you're a Machist, I probably just greatly offended you. I totally understand why you would be, but I think when we objectively look at it from the business perspective, like you have to get all the plastic for the set, you have to tool the factory for the set, you have to pay the factory workers, then you have to make the product, then you have to ship the product. Like there's many, like definitely hundreds of thousands of dollars all in total in that, and easily millions if Lego were to do it. So it's a huge investment, and a company wants to know that they can make their money back and know that the audience is going to resonate with that product. And I don't think that physical product, that Legos, that buildable sets are the way to go, to be totally honest. As you can see, like I have a lot of G1 sets here. I don't have, and my experience with G2. So I want to talk about my experience with G2 in terms of product. So clearly I was really interested in sets for G1, but for G2 I wasn't, simply because I already had all my G1 sets and I love them and I thought they were great and I had great memories of like the lore behind it. And for G2's lore, I watched a few of their animated segments, and like it was clear to me that like the audience and like who it was made for was way younger than like 20-year-old me. So of course I wasn't interested in, or I guess I would have been like 23, 22. Anyway, like it was clearly like not made, well, those animations weren't for me and didn't suit me. And on top of that, I just didn't need more sets to take up space to spend money on, because as you can clearly see, I'm not much of a Machist, so after I build it, it's just going to sit there for the most part. So from my perspective, I don't think physical sets are the way to go. And I think they're a huge investment for a company. That's pretty much, that part is totally objective, like fact. It's a lot of money for a company like Lego to build a physical set and thousands of them and try and get people to buy it and market it. Like, that's a lot of money, and in my opinion, I don't think that would sell and resonate with the millions of people who previously purchased Bionicle, and that they would want to, and I think would be your surest bet to get an audience purchasing a Bionicle product with a potential Generation 3 line. So I think the solution is a video game. Why a video game? Well, unlike the physical set, I think it's a lot cheaper. It's pretty straightforward to make. You just have the game developer make the game. And I know there's a whole lot more to it than what I said, but I still think I'm on target when I say it's a lot cheaper to make a video game than to make a toy line. So it's cheaper, it's pretty easy to do, and I think and depending on how you approach the video game, especially if it's Bionicle Lego related, I think it's pretty easy for Lego to make, or for any game developer to make it so there's customizability, kind of like if you could imagine like with your Spartans in Halo, like customize them, like that kind of customizability, but with a Lego set. Like, you know, you can choose the arm, you can choose the leg, choose the hand and stuff, choose their weapons, if they have shield or not. Like, I think it's pretty easy to get that buildable, customizable experience you want from your character into a video game. And then I think with the video game, you can then test the interest to make sets. That would be my way to approach it. So Machist, in the end, I think with this solution, you can get your sets, your physical set. Another reason to go with video games is because currently I think the only product that Christian Faber has is a story. Like in his presentation, he mentioned a lot about storytelling. And I think that if you're going to tell a story, the best way to do that is in a video game. Especially, not only because I want to buy that personally, like again, acknowledging my bias there, but I think it's just so much more interactive and customizable compared to like a book. Because like a book, it's just the words on the page, what you get is what you get. Like, so I think books, anything that's just read only, like it's pretty one-sided. We, the consumer, the audience, don't really get much of an option to create with it. So there you go. That's another reason I think that like video games are better, more profitable, and I think in terms of story, which was a huge point that Christian Faber made in his video to us, was getting us, the audience, involved in the story. And I think if you really want that, video games are the best way to go in terms that are also viable for a company to get involved in, like Lego. So the third point that I think we need to be addressed is just the Bionicle intellectual property or IP. I think it's very interesting that even though Bionicle is keeping it up, their copyright on it essentially up to date, that they don't have a way to make money off of it. Like, I think today, like the main way Bionicle can make money off of Bionicle would be like a small trickle from like their old video games. And which is interesting because they have them all available for free on Bionicle Media Project. So to me that says like Lego isn't really actively trying to make money off of this IP currently, even though they're spending the money, the legal time to keep their IP on it. So what can Bionicle do with the Bionicle IP that they currently aren't putting a whole lot of effort into making money off of? I think the best way to do that is licensing deals. And Lego is no stranger to licensing. Like, so we have the huge like Lego Star Wars line, we have Lego Harry Potter, like Lego Avengers, Lego Marvel. Like, there is tons of licensed sets that Bionicle has. So I think Lego should just go ahead and turn it around and be like, all right, we're going to license this. And video games easily lend themselves to licensing. I think that would be something they would go for. Like, literally, like with a licensing deal, Lego just exists. And because they own the IP, they'll get money from it. So again, that's another reason why I think video games are perfect. Like, it's super low risk for Lego. They have a licensing deal, someone else pays them. In this case, a video game developer. They make the video game, and I think a really great quality Bionicle video game would resonate with Bionicle fans of, I think, well, at least G1. I can't speak for G2, but I think if you're going by just the Bionicle brand name, I think if you released a video game today and made it quality and gave it a super quality story, I think, heck yeah, fans would totally buy it and eat it up. So there you have it. I think Bionicle totally can return, and since Lego is bothering to keep their IP on it current, like, I think they totally plan to make money off of Bionicle eventually. But the trick is having a product that is engages the Bionicle audience, both current, which is smaller, but most importantly the past Bionicle audience, and creating something that resonates with them. And it has to be a product that is worthwhile, but also like not a huge risk to the company. And I think video games are the most straightforward way of doing that. And for Lego itself, because they're the IP intellectual property owner, like, they have to be addressed. And I think a licensing deal for Bionicle is the best way to do that, because Lego is no stranger to licensing. They know they can be very profitable, and I think by first licensing a video game, then they can easily decide, oh, okay, it's worth making sets, and then they can gauge profitability. And personally, I would really hope that those video games would be centered on G1. I know Christian Faber has said if Bionicle were to come back, it would be a different story, and I mean, that's cool. I'm just saying, like, if it were like G1, I would totally throw my money at it. And just, I guess, kind of on that subject of video games. So that's another reason why I've been pushing video games so hard, is because I've been trying to make a game myself, and that's really a way that I would want to be involved in the story, and is an experience that I want for me. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great day.